Hey, everybody. We are here for one purpose today, and that is to learn how to have your hiney in Mexico this year. So the trip to Mayakoba, Mexico is in September, and you have to qualify for the trip by July 31st. And there's several ways you can qualify. You can, well, it's for emeralds and above. Okay. So emerald means you have 1,500 pay points. And if you are hitting emerald for the very first time this calendar or this incentive year, hit emerald one time between August and July, then between August of 2022 and July 2023. If you're a first time emerald, you only have to hit it once. You're qualified for this luxury. The value of this trip, y'all, I'm just saying, it is approximately $10,000 per earner. Would you take yourself on a $10,000 trip? Probably not. And it is worth it, okay? And it is literally, they go all out. And so another way to earn it, if you are not a first-time emerald, if you're a jewel, but you this isn't your first year being a jewel, then you have to hit it 5 out of the 12 months. And then same thing for diamond. To earn the diamond trip, you have to hit it once. Unless you're a repeating diamond, you have to earn it 5 times. Okay, so this strategy that I'm about to share with you guys, it's going to help you if you implement it. It will help you either earn the trip for the first time, or earn it as a repeat time, or if you've already earned it, then if you've already qualified at this point, let's just say you've already hit your jewel rank 5 times, then it can help you go as your next rank. And I know that this strategy works. I know that it works because I've done it multiple times. The thing about it is that it requires focus, and it's going to require you to be hungry. And really, and I know that if I wanted to double my income with Plexus, I totally could employ this strategy again. But what it's going to take for you is focus and hunger. There's been 2 times in my business where I was so sick and tired of being where I was at that I was willing to get focused because I was hungry. So in order for you to do this, I'm just telling you up front, you're going to have to be hungry because it's going to require you to focus, which I'm going to share more about focus and some tips on that after I share with you what you need to do. All right, so this strategy is going to help you create momentum quickly. I've done this twice. Now, y'all have been in Plexus for 9.5 years. 2 times I've done this, and within 6 months, my points were doubled. I did it once to get from emerald to sapphire. I did it again to get from sapphire to diamond. All right. But again, your success is going to depend on your ability to focus. Focus on the key drivers and then drown out everything else. Say no to everything else. It's going to be a whole lot of saying no to the good so that you can say yes to the best. And that is a skill of prioritization that you will have to learn. All right, so first you're going to have to determine what are the key drivers. What are the things? And there's really only a few that if you do them, they will move your points forward and move them forward quickly. And if you are a jewel or close to it in Plexus, there's really only one thing, to be honest with you, that's going to drive your points forward if you were to implement it, and that is create new business builders. Because there's some things in your business that you're going to do that maintain your points. But then there's really just one thing that if you do it, it's going to make your points go up. It's really not just one thing, but I'd say this is the main thing. And if you're wanting to get to Mexico over the next 6-7 months, then this is the main thing that you have to focus on. And that is creating business builders. So that's what you have to focus on. And the thing is that's very simple. It's very simple to do, but we're so easily distracted. It's not easy to maintain a focus on that because there's so many shiny things that tempt us and distract us. And the thing about distractions is that 90% of them are allowed. They're internal. We allow them. It's not like your kid coming in and interrupting you. That's an external distraction. We internal distractions, 90% of distractions are internal. We allow them, and that's going to look like you getting a message on a text message or on Messenger or on Instagram, or you want to scroll or check your email or whatever. Like, you have got to have the ability to focus on the key drivers. The key driver being create new business builders. And the reason why we allow distractions is because we want to avoid a feeling of discomfort. We want to avoid feeling uncomfortable. And the thing about successful people is that they know that in order to be successful, they have to be uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, you are not growing. And that is true no matter how successful you are. I don't care if you're earning 7 figures. If you want to earn multiple 7 figures, like go from earning $1 million a year to earning $10 million a year, it requires you to be uncomfortable, out of your comfort zone. It's going to require that, okay? So the reason why we allow distractions is because we want to avoid feelings of discomfort. When you are creating business builders, just expect up front, you're going to face some rejection. That is usually the thing that makes people not want to do it. It feels uncomfortable, but it's the thing that's going to make your points go up. So do you want your points to go up? Then you have to commit right now that you're willing to do things that get you out of your comfort zone. Okay. All right. Now, determining the key drivers in your business. Let's just simplify things. Okay. Because I don't want anybody feeling overwhelmed or scattered or all over the place, or like they don't know what to focus on, because sometimes when you sit down to work, it can feel like you're at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Like, obviously, when you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, you don't eat every single thing on the buffet. You pick a few things that you would like to enjoy, and you say no to everything else. So that's how you have to approach your business. But you have to know what the key drivers are so that you can simplify, because it is a simple business. Nothing should feel complicated or complex. There's really nothing that's complex about this business other than what goes on in our minds and the distractions that we allow. So there's 3 areas of your business that are going to help you grow, okay, that you have to focus on. Number 1, you need to determine the key drivers in what you must do in your personal business. Number 2, what you must learn. And number 3, what you must do as a leader. So those 3 areas, these are the things that for the next 6 solid months, you are giving yourself permission to 100% focus on these things and say no to everything else. Say no to the good so you can say yes to the best. Say no to the limitless opportunities that are going to pop up, because they will. You're going to have an opportunity to take your kids to do that fun thing, to go hang out with this friend, to shoot the breeze with that team member. You're going to have limitless opportunities of good things thrown at you or coming your way. That podcast that your sideline said was so good, you have to listen to this. All right, so you have to be the determiner of, or the one who determines what are the key drivers in those 3 areas: your personal business, what you're going to learn, and what you must do as a leader. Okay, so in your personal business, that is going to look like, for the purpose of earning Mexico, is prospecting and recruiting, creating your content, but all with the sole purpose of creating business builders. So that is what you have to focus on in your personal business. And this is the top priority. If you don't do anything else in a day, if you've done that work, then you can give yourself a pat on the back. Okay. Not saying the other stuff's not important. It is, but you've got to focus on the key drivers first. If you had a to-do list of 10 things, there's really only 2 or 3 that are going to give you an 80% return on your time investment. That's the Pareto principle. So it's up to you to determine what are the key drivers in your personal business. What do you need to focus on? And obviously you've got to take care of the current people you have too, like retention work. That's a thing, but that can be systematized. Prospecting and recruiting, that's something that you have to be so intentional to do every day, and creating your content. All right. So, and then what you must learn, guys, this is going to be different for every single person. And the opportunities for you to learn something are limitless. And for you have to determine what one thing, if I master in this quarter or in this month, if I focus on learning this one thing and mastering and applying this one thing, it will help me make progress in my business. Because if you're all over the place, like reading that book, listening to this podcast, taking that training, paying for that course, hopping on this team call, and like you're all over the place, like retention is going to be lower. You're going to feel like your brain's on information overload. So pick one thing to focus on learning this month, the next 30 days or the next quarter. Pick one thing to focus on and really learn it, master it, and do that well. And when your sidelines are dropping podcast links or training YouTube videos in the chats, you're going to have the wherewithal to either, like, you can save it, maybe start a notes app on your phone where you can save links to trainings that you want to plug into at some point, but you got to stay focused. Okay. So some of you might need to learn how to do better marketing. You may need to learn how to create better content. You may need to learn how to execute a 3-way call. You may need to learn how to lead your team well. So you're the one who has to determine what it is you're going to learn. But the point is, you have to focus on one thing at a time. Okay. Keep it very simple. Nobody should be on information overload. If it is, it's because you are allowing distractions from the things that will make you grow, but they will make you uncomfortable. Okay. So if your brain is on overload, that is why. It's because you're allowing it, because you're avoiding something. So don't do that. All right. And then the third thing, what you must do as a leader. And I think I'll come back to that. So that's your business simplified. You determine what are the key drivers in those 3 areas: your personal business, what you must learn, what you must do as a leader. All right. So let's hone in on the key driver of creating business builders, because that is going to be the thing that is going to get you to Mexico. If you earn this trip, that'll be why. Okay. So here we go. First thing I want you to do is make a list of 50 people that you would like to go to Hawaii with. And I sat down Friday to make my list, and I came up with a list of 27, and it took me an hour. So I'm going to finish my list today, and so I'm going to have to carve out another hour. You cannot skip this step. It is foundational. It's important. And I mean, if you don't know who you're looking for, then you need to go listen to my podcast for last week, Tuesday. It was about who to develop as a leader. And the workbook, it talks about like taking somebody to Hawaii with you every year, the rest of your life. Okay. So who are you looking for? That podcast will help you if you're unclear, because here's the thing. A lot of people are just looking for warm bodies who would like dollars in their bank account. Not a good business strategy. It's not a good long-term strategy. I'm telling you right now, go listen to that podcast. And then make your list of 50 people that you would like to go to Hawaii with every single year. Now, disclaimer, this strategy that I'm telling you, this does not replace anything. This does not replace anything. This is in addition to your IPA, because you can't afford to not do income producing activity. This is a business, and this strategy is going to help you grow your business in the future coming months, but it's not going to help you earn this month's incentive. It's not going to help you earn contest credits right now. You also have to be reaching out every day about Plexus, having conversations with people about Plexus, prospecting and recruiting people, at least for the products. But this strategy is to help you create business builders and create momentum in the next 60 to 90 days and beyond. Okay. So you can't neglect what you're doing right now that is getting you joins right now. But this is something that's in addition to. All right. So make your list of 50 people that you'd like to go to Hawaii with every single year. The purpose of this is basically what you're going to be doing is turning your cold market into warm market. And then your list, you need to like call it something. Your list needs to have a name. And I wouldn't even when I was sitting down to make my list the other day, I started to call it Dream Teamers, but then it made me feel fearful. I don't know, it like made me have some feelings. And so I erased it and I called it People That I Would Like to Go to Hawaii With. And that felt way better. Just literally the title made me feel better. Okay. Because Dream Teamers feels a little intimidating, because what you're going to do is in the next 30 days, you are going to bring up the Plexus business opportunity to all 50 of these people in the next 30 days. And I'm going to talk about that. But if you're not willing to do that, and you know that, like, you find this person on your friends list or whatever, and you're envisioning yourself reaching out to that person, and you know you're not going to be willing to do it, don't put their name on the list. This is a list of 50 people you would want to go to Hawaii with, that you would be, even if it makes you uncomfortable, you're willing to reach out to them about the business sometime in the next 30 days. Okay. So what I'm looking for when I'm going through my friends or whatever, I'm looking for, first of all, I made a whole podcast about this, but chemistry. I'm looking for chemistry because that's important. Like, I don't want to be in Hawaii with somebody I don't like or don't enjoy their company. So like, we would need to have some kind of chemistry. Like, for me, it's usually like just core values that are the same. Potential. I'm looking for somebody with potential. And what that looks like could be a lot of different things. Again, refer to the podcast. Not building with another MLM. We're not trying to cross company recruit here. We're not even trying to sell products. With this list, this is not people you're reaching out to about our products. This is people you're going to talk to about our business. So if you notice that they are building with another MLM, don't put them on the list. Okay. And if they have not posted in, like, I don't know, if they haven't posted in like 6 months or more, I probably wouldn't put them on there either, even if they do look like potential, just because it would just be really hard to prospect somebody who's never on social media if they're not even going to see your messages, you know. Another thing you want to be careful about is overlapping with your friends. So if you have a lot of mutual friends that are on our team, then you want to get with the people and make sure that your list is not overlapping, because what you don't want to happen is in the next 30 days, the same person gets 5 messages from people asking them if they've considered this Plexus opportunity before, right? So we do not want that to happen. So in order to prevent that from happening, it's your responsibility. If you see that you have a mutual friend, you just go ahead and reach out and do the right thing, guys. Just do the right thing. If you have not been prospecting that person and somebody reaches out and says, hey, I would like to add this person to my list, are you prospecting them? Be honest. Don't just say, yes, I am, and then go put them on your list. Just be honest. Do the right thing. The Lord sees. Okay. He sees. So that's your responsibility. Just make sure your list ain't overlapping with people who you have a lot of mutual friends with. And then if you have to, go make some new friends. Like, if you're going through your friends and you can't even find 50 people you'd actually like to go to Hawaii with, and in this case, Mexico, but I'm saying Hawaii because that's normally where we go. It's normally a Hawaii trip, but make some new friends. Go in a group of like-minded people, and I would say pick one group and focus on it. Go in a group and make some friends. And you can build rapport with people very quickly. You don't have to be best friends with everybody, but just go make some new Facebook friends or Instagram if that's what you're building. I think pretty much most of us are Facebook. But anyway, make some new friends if you have to. But whatever you have to do, make your list and make it very quickly. And I would say within the next 48 hours, you need to have this list done. Be urgent. You need to have a sense of urgency. Okay, now what to do with the list. So within 30 days, you will have reached out to all 50 people about the business specifically. So here's what I plan to do. Every day, I'm going to go to the feed of 10 of these people and I'm going to comment. And if I can get in their inbox somehow, bonus points. Like, I want to create organic conversations. At a minimum, if there's nothing there to comment on, I'm at least boosting my posts in their feed. Like, if you go to someone's timeline and you're just scrolling, or you like a few things, even if you just go to their timeline, that puts your content that you post in their feed, because Facebook thinks y'all want to see each other. Okay, so you can divide your list up into 10 people every day and go to 10 of their feed every day and comment on 1 or 2 posts. If you can strike up a conversation about something, be in their inbox, bonus points. The easiest way to get in their inbox is to watch their stories, because if they've posted stories and you comment on a story, then it goes directly in their inbox, right? And so you just want to be top of mind for them so that they're seeing your stuff. And if you do 10 a day, then at the end of 5 days, you will have gone through all 50. So, and if you do that every week, then you should have at least some rapport with them within 30 days. That means that the whole entire list, you would have commented on something of theirs or been in their inbox once a week. All right. So the goal is to try to build rapport with them. Meanwhile, now at the same time you are doing this is probably the most important part, y'all. You have to be posting valuable content. You have to be. And I don't mean just posting and to throw a post up just to throw it up. The content has to be valuable, meaning that it's helpful in some way to your audience. Like if they're not your close friend or family member, how is it valuable to them? Would they want to see it if they don't know your kids? They don't, they're not involved in, they don't really care. What are you posting that is valuable to somebody who's consuming your content that is not your friend or family member? Okay, so that could be tomorrow's podcast episode that's coming out is very descriptive about how to post content that's valuable to your audience, whether they know you or not. But it's really just as simple as, instead of posting, throwing up a picture of you and your husband and saying date night with the hubs, then just put a little bit more effort into it. And you could say, here's our 3 favorite things to do on a date night. Or you could say, here's the top 5 reasons why we have committed to monthly date nights. Here's what the benefits of it. Like, so you need to put something with that image that if somebody's not your friend or family member, they would actually want to read it and they would get value from it. Because if you just throw up a picture and say date night with the hubs, I mean, people are going to think, oh, that's cute, and keep scrolling. Or they might think, oh, must be nice going on a date with your husband. Like, they're going to think something and keep scrolling. It does not increase your like, know, and trust factor. It does not increase the likelihood that someone would purchase anything from you, much less want to build a business with you. But if you take the time and put a little bit more effort into it to turn that post into something that is valuable in some way to someone who may not even know you, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up as a leader. And in order for somebody to want to pursue an opportunity with you or even be interested in what you have to say at all, then you have to add value to them. That's how you set yourself up as a leader. So with every single post, you ask yourself, is this helpful? If somebody reading this is not my friend or family member, would they find this helpful? So while you are building rapport with your list that you've worked hard to create, and you are going to be building, trying to build a relationship with these people over the next 30 days, you have to be creating content that is valuable. All right. So every single day you need to be posting on your feed and in your stories. Your content needs to market several things. First of all, it needs to show what your values are. Like if I were to go to your timeline or your feed, would I be able to tell based off of your post what your values are? Like what's important to you? I mean, that's important. It needs to show that. It needs to show your lifestyle. How do you live? Like, what are you doing every day of your life? Do you have a career? So do you have to leave your house and go sit at a desk all day? If so, do you also go to the gym? Like, are you married? Like, how do you fit all this in? Or are you a stay-at-home mom who's homeschooling all of her kids? Like, what kind of lifestyle do you live? Like, what's a typical day look like for you? So you need to be posting things that show your values and who you are, what's important to you, and shows your lifestyle. And then also posting things that market your products, and also posting things that market your opportunity. And the ratio needs to be 2 to 1. So for every one thing that you post that's related to Plexus, whether it's your products or your opportunity, post 2 things that are not related to Plexus. That's how you add value and don't get unfriended. Okay. So 2 to 1 ratio, non-Plexus to Plexus. Market your values, your lifestyle, your products, and your opportunity. There's your content strategy. Okay. And you can do that. You can post as much as you want, as long as you keep the ratio in check. So two personal or non-Plexus things for every one Plexus thing you post. All right. Then title this list, like this list needs like a number or something. You can call it your January list. Make sure it has like a kind of a timeline on it. Or you can call it list 1 because, this is the first list you're making for the year, but call it something that is kind of time stamped. And then you're within 30 days. You don't have to wait 30 days to bring up the opportunity. If you can find a way to organically bring it up, super smart. But within 30 days, even if on day 30, you're reaching out to all 50 on day 30, that's what you have to do. Okay. And so I would say something along the lines of this. This is generally what I would say. And it would be different for each person, but here's kind of a guideline. Hey, Susie, I have loved following you the last several weeks, and I was just curious. Have you ever, let me back up. I've loved following you the last several weeks because of this reason. I would definitely personalize it here. Here's why I've loved following you the past several weeks. I'm just curious, have you ever thought about starting a side gig before? I'm not sure if this is for you or not, but I think you could be very successful at it because fill in the blank. And that's going to be personalized. That's going to be specific to that person. How open-minded would you be about just taking a look at this to see if it's a good fit for you or not? It's definitely blessed my family with fill in the blank, and I'm loving it. I thought you might too. So have you ever just thought about something like that? That's how I would approach it. Okay. Now, if they are open, I'll get on the phone with them. And this is the part that's going to feel very uncomfortable. Like none of this is uncomfortable until you get to the part where you have to you reach out to all 50. And then the ones who are open, which by the way, it won't be many. It might be 5. If you have 5 who are open, I'd say you're doing great. Okay. But you're going to get on the phone with those people who are open and you would talk to them like you would talk to someone on a 3-way call. So that would be like, share your 2-minute story, ask their thoughts, handle any of their objections, ask their thoughts, paint a picture for them in cast vision, ask their thoughts. This is not a training on what to say on the phone, but you do need, over the next 30 days, if you don't normally do 3-way calls or you don't normally do welcome calls or get on the phone with people at all, you need to be watching the video about what to say about the business opportunity on a 3-way call. That's one that I did. I know April's done some. I know Christina's done some. Find a video about what to say on the phone. Memorize it. Write the whole thing down and read it if you have to. I have done that many times in my business. And then people think I'm smart. And really, I just memorized somebody else's spiel. Okay? Anybody can do that. And after you say the same thing 5-10 times, you don't have to read anything anymore. Also, if you're going to read it, be a good actress, okay? Sound animated. Don't sound like you're reading, for the love, okay? So be animated. But get on the phone with these people. And if you have reached out to all 50 and 5 say, yeah, I'm open, and you get on the phone with all 5, you may have 1, 2 if you're really effective, that goes silver in 30 days after they join. Okay. If you had 2 new silvers in your business, that would start some momentum. And then you would help them get people under them who are going silver. Okay. So now let's just say that let's just say you have this list of 50, 5 of them are open to hearing about it. Out of the 5 you get on the phone with, 1 of them, let's just say 2 of them go silver, but 1 of them in the next 12 months goes emerald on your team. Would it be worth the rejection of the other 49? 100% it would. Okay. So just know this is what you're going to face. Like most people are not going to be interested. Most people are not going to be open. Most people you're going to have to engage in a process of follow up with. Okay. So could potentially create a new business builder or two within a month if you follow this process. Now, the next month, you are going to make a new list of 50 people that you would want to go to Hawaii with every year for the rest of your life, a new list. And again, you're going to follow that same process. If you don't have enough people, go make some friends. Go find 50 more people. Or if 50 seems like way too much in that next month, do 25, okay? But preferably 50. And you're going to repeat this process. All right, now the list of people who were not open or the ones who were open but they didn't start yet, you're just going to put them into your follow-up system. So they're going to see your content, number one, from here on out, because you've been intentional to go to their feed once a week for a month, right? And you've been in their inbox. So Facebook knows they need to put your content in their feed. So you're going to be very intentional with creating valuable content, okay? Most people cannot conceive of themselves doing something like this at first. It's generally a process of 8 to 12 exposures before somebody's going to be open or before somebody makes a decision, okay? Like they have to be exposed over and over to get to the point where they're thinking, maybe I could do this. Maybe I would. I see all these other people doing it. So you're going to put that list number one, the people who were not open or interested, just they go in your follow-up list. So for month number 2, you're going to have a new list, plus you're going to follow up with list number 1. And you can just update them on what other people are achieving, and that you know that they could do that too. Or you can invite them to try a sample of your products, or you can invite them to an event. You could share a product testimony. I mean, you could market them for the products at that point, or continue following up about the opportunity, sharing with them what you know they're capable of, and sharing with them just third-party validation of what other people are accomplishing that you know that they could too. So you're going to put those people in your follow-up system while also repeating step 1 with your new list number 2, okay? Now, at the end, at the 60-day mark, you should have 50 more people that you have reached out to about the opportunity. You may have 5 who respond, they're open, you're going to get on the phone with, and you may have 1 new level 1 silver, maybe 2 out of that list that you worked hard on for 30 days, okay? So, but if you repeat this process over and over and over each month, if you did it for an entire year, you likely would be earning 6 figures. And if you're already earning 6 figures, you likely would be earning multiple 6 figures. If you're emerald right now and you did that, you likely would be diamond. I know that this works. Okay. Now back to what's going to make it work. It's going to be your focus. Your success at this will depend on your ability to focus on it. It's really hard to focus on it and stick to it if you don't know how to prioritize. If you are so distracted by everything that is thrown at you from every angle, and you don't have like a laser sharp focus for this is what I'm doing, this is the key driver, this is it, and nothing else, and everything else I give myself permission to say no to, then you'll probably fail at this strategy. But I'm telling you, strategy works. And if it doesn't work, it's because you didn't, right? So you're gonna have to tune out the noise. You're gonna have to tune out whatever will distract you. Sometimes what can distract you is your own ego. Just saying, okay? Because this is uncomfortable. All right. Now, the other thing I want to share with you is I'm going through this Henry Cloud certification. I've shared that with y'all. But this module that I just finished the other day, it was so light bulb for me, y'all. But it was called The Leader's Attention. And I'm going to share with you what he talked about, because this is the thing that's going to make this strategy work for you. It's about focusing on what matters to get the end result that you want. So the first thing is you have to name what are the core things that are going to get you to the end result that you want. There's only a few, and I told you there's 3 areas that you need to focus on key drivers for. What do you need to focus on in your personal business? What do you need to focus on learning? And what do you need to focus on as a leader? You have to attend to what is relative. What is relevant, not relative, relevant. That means pay attention to. Attend, that word means just pay attention to. Pay attention to what is relevant. And then you have to keep reminding yourself over and over and over. One thing he said that was so interesting to me is that the brain has to be reminded a whole lot more than it has to be taught. I find that to be so interesting. Your brain has to be reminded a whole lot more than it has to be taught. So I'm teaching you this strategy right now, but it's going to be up to you to remind yourself, keep it at the forefront of your mind, put accountability in place. Accountability with this is so, so helpful. And like I said, and I haven't done that in the past with accountability. I just haven't had a whole lot of that. And so that's why I've only done this twice in my business. Imagine if I were to do it all of the time in my business, where I would be now. All right. So keep reminding yourself, have the discipline to keep focused on a few things that are the core to drive you and your team to the end result. Now, the reason he put this module in there is because focus is not only your responsibility to focus on your key drivers. As a leader, you have a responsibility to help your team stay focused, because your team's going to focus on what you're focused on as a leader. So the leader has to quarantine himself or herself to focus on the core. You have to stay focused as a leader, attend to what is relevant, and inhibit distractions. So he asked this question: are you in control of what you attend to and what you ignore? Or are you allowing everything else to control you? You need to be in control of what you are paying attention to and what you are ignoring. Sometimes that requires you to set boundaries. Sometimes that requires you to say no to some things that are good things, so that you can say yes to the best. All right. What is the first main point of focus for your work? What must have your attention first? If you're going to drive the needle forward, what must have your attention first? You really could narrow it down to one most important thing, that if that was the only thing you did, your business would still grow. And I'm very curious to hear y'all's responses to that question. Can y'all type it in the chat? What do you think? Or what's the most important thing? IPA, yes. Recruiting, yes. All right, Rachel nailed it. Creating new business builders. And I see other people saying that too. Creating new business builders. If you want your points going up, because you could recruit till the cows come home, y'all. That does not necessarily mean your points are going up. It could mean you're maintaining if you're not creating business builders, okay? Because there's natural attrition that takes place in this business. And so if you want your points to go forward, yes, you do need to be doing income producing activity, but you have to develop business builders. If you are stuck, this is why. If you have been at the same rank for longer than 6 months, this is why. This is the thing you have to focus on. And that is exactly what the strategy just gave you, okay? What's the second most important and what's the third? So y'all have to answer that right now, but you do need to write that down. Go determine what's the most important, second most important, third most important. And guys, these can change from season to season or even like month to month, but you have to name them. You have to name them so that you can focus on them. And this will be your template for eliminating distractions, because if you have the 3 most important things right here and you're focused on them, it basically is your permission. If something is thrown at you that's asking for your time, your decisions, your brain space, your resources, you can say no to it. It's permission to say no to everything else that is not this most important thing, okay? So ask yourself this: are you meeting all of your goals in the time that you said that you would? If not, What distractions have you been allowing from what is the most important? What distractions are you allowing? Attention is everything, guys. So visualize your work as a template. Like once you have these most important things in front of you, you need to visualize that as like your template that could be repeated over and over and over again to accomplish your goals. What do you need to do to make this like a true mental blueprint for you and your team? So for me, if I was going to create content, that would be part of this strategy, right? It's not good. This strategy of your list and reaching out, none of that's going to work if your content's not on point. Okay. So if I'm going to create content, like I'm going to do that every day, or I could batch it or whatever. I got to post every day, but I'm going to every day. I probably would reach out to my list of 10, or I'd go on the timeline and comment on my list of 10 before I post, because it puts my post in their feed like right away, right? Those are the people I want seeing my posts. Hold on. I got to plug my computer in. Anyways, once you have figured out what your key drivers are and what the core is, make a mental blueprint of something that's your template, what you can do over and over again, and your team do the same thing. All right. And then what distractions do you need to overcome to make your game plan a continued success? As a leader, you have to own the fact that your energy and your attention is what drives everything. Your team's going to focus on what you're focused on. If your team's not focused, it's probably because you're not focused. Okay. So what you choose to focus on directly impacts the trajectory of your work and the success of your team. So take ownership of what you're focused on and what distractions you've been allowing. All right. What are you doing a good job focusing on? And then where are you allowing some crucial items to just lose your attention? And again, accountability helps. So I'm just going to leave that there. You can get creative with that. I will tell you what I'm going to be doing. I have 3 people that I feel very confident that they're my level 1s or adopted. And I feel very confident that they can earn this trip. They can qualify for this trip. Now, these 3 people are kind of in the same like season of their business, like what the needs are in their business is the same, and also their personalities and values are compatible. And so I'm meeting with these 3 ladies twice a week for 30 minutes after Monday night call and after Thursday night call, because my mind is already stimulated. I'm already like away from my family at that moment. So it's kind of like batching, right? It's definitely, it's just like a productivity tip to stack things. So I'm not like pulling time out of nowhere. I'm being very strategic with who and when we are meeting and what we're going to talk about when we're on there. And we're going to be very focused on this strategy. And there will be accountability there. I'm going to do it with them. That way I know what they're up against. Like I will know what's working well. I can share that with them. I'll know what's not working well. We can tweak it together. We figure it out. But that's my plan going forward with this strategy. That will also help me be accountable. So accountability helps, which is why, like I said, out of 9.5 years of doing this, I've only done it twice because I haven't had accountability. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself and your team some accountability. You can, if you're already doing weekly accountability meetings, consider incorporating this. Whatever you need to do, get creative. Okay. So that's my thoughts. And that's all I got. So I know that some of you on this call are going to go do this and you're going to be in Mexico. And some of you are going to allow distractions. So it's up to you. Take ownership. You have everything that you need at your fingertips in order to make this happen. It's not a matter of if you're able. At this point, it's a matter of if you're willing.